Our top story is the unfolding bushfire crisis along the east coast of Australia. We're going to take you live now to East Gippsland, where the Prime Minister Scott Morrison has been meeting with volunteers. He's now touring parts of the state that have been devastated by fires and meeting with locals. We can see here what's most likely a local showing a photo of the home before it was destroyed by fire. Yep, and we can see he's speaking with them, looking at the utter devastation that's been wreaked across this land by the fires. Let's take a listen into what they're talking about when our cameraman is in the right position. We know these pictures can be a little raw. Usually we would edit these for you, but this is such a condition. We want to show you everything as it comes into the newsroom, give you the live experience of what is happening on the ground, especially after the Prime Minister Scott Morrison had that extremely frosty reception on the south coast of New South Wales. It looks like our cameraman's in position, so let's take a listen in.
One of those picnic tables with it. Yeah. That's it. See the little thing there? That's a massive big picnic table. So, yeah, we got 2 horses out the day before. People again came and helped us with that, and I think they're going to. They're at Eastwood, but right now they're being taken to Warragul. Okay. I think one of the horses before. All your animals and your we got animals were pet animals were a high priority, and we got all them out. They're absolutely painful. They're just paranoid at the moment. So we got them out and we're just shuffling them. The little chick went back to Melbourne. The chooks are in Vickers's chook pen. Horses are just being taken back to Warragul today, I think. Okay. You bring them more joint if you want. Yeah. So, I mean, what can you say? It's just a while to come to terms with and process, and then think through all the decisions. Keep reaching out. Keep reaching out to you.
So you're seeing a bit here how the sausage is made. This is our cameraman on the ground trying to get those live pictures to us into the newsroom of the devastation wreaked across this area. Those homes, you can see that roof next to where the Prime Minister is standing, completely warped by the heat that destroyed the building underneath it. It is extraordinary to see just the devastation in the area. We'll come back to these pictures in a little bit, but let's get an overview of what the east coast of this country is facing. It's an unprecedented evacuation operation underway at the moment in those bushfire zones across Victoria and New South Wales, ahead of what's predicted to be a firestorm tomorrow. We begin our coverage with these latest details. 28 people are unaccounted for in Victoria's bushfires. 2 people are confirmed dead. The Navy's rescuing hundreds of residents and tourists trapped at Malakuta in the state's East Gippsland region. A state of disaster has been declared for 6 local government areas. In New South Wales, police have confirmed 8 people have died in bushfires. One of the biggest evacuation operations in our history is underway on the state's south coast. 449 homes have been destroyed since New Year's Eve. A state of emergency has been declared as well. Now let's check in with the state of play in Victoria. Live now to Gabriella Power, who's at the State Control Centre. Gab, authorities are warning people to leave danger areas now before it's too late.
That's right, Annalise, and the latest is 2 people are confirmed dead and 28 people are still missing in Victoria's East Gippsland region. That number of people missing is expected to change throughout the day as more reports are made. The state's Premier, Daniel Andrews, says that he made the right decision by declaring a state of disaster last night. Now, this gives the government more powers to deal with this bushfire crisis that is ongoing. The state of disaster gives the government the power to force evacuations, and emergency services can take control of properties. It has been declared for 6 local government areas and alpine regions. More than 100,000 people are affected, including major towns like Bright and Malakuta.
The total number of people who cannot be accounted for has now grown to 28. It remains the case that 2 people can be confirmed as having lost their lives. There are 2 deceased persons. We have grave fears for the safety and well-being of those 28 people who cannot be located.
More than 1,000 firefighters are battling blazes across the state. At least 48 fires are still burning, 14 are at a watch and act level, and there are 2 emergency warning evacuate now in place in the Victoria's northeast region. Now authorities are warning that tomorrow's conditions are going to be worse.
We cannot guarantee your safety. We all have a role to play. Our fireys, our emergency services, they're all playing their role. Now it is up to ordinary community members to play their part as well. If you can leave, you must leave.
Just to reinforce that sequence for you, self-evacuation, shelter with family, friends outside of the impact area, access municipal facilities, which I've just described to you, and then the fourth is to access the ADF facilities as well.
Take this advice seriously, take this direction seriously. This will absolutely save lives. I've spent, the last couple of days down in East Gippsland talking to people who have been immediately impacted on the East Gippsland fires. I think the strong message from those who didn't leave is that they wished they had left, that the fires were of such ferocity and intensity that it was very traumatic and people felt that their lives were absolutely at risk.
Hundreds of people are being ferried from Malakuta right now. The first 2 boats left the wharf just after 8:40 this morning. The ferries will continue to take residents and holidaymakers throughout the day. Those being evacuated first included families with young children and people with pets, as well as the elderly. They will be taken to a smaller ship before the majority of people are ferried to HMAS Choules. HMAS Choules has the capacity to evacuate up to 1,000 people at a time. The evacuation of 4,000 people is expected to take up to 20 hours.
Look, it's a really complex thing to achieve. That's a lot of people to move. But what's been outstanding here is the amount of community involvement here. The emergency services, police, the RFS, the ambulance service, essentially anybody and everybody that's got a vehicle or has an interest has been amazing. So the ADF's presence plus the local community has made this what would normally be quite a complex task a lot easier than normal. So it's going really well. Been really impressed with the way it's happened.
Annalise will keep you updated on this bushfire crisis throughout the day.
Thank you, Gab. We'll check in with you again soon. Now, as parts of Victoria's east and northeast burn and mass evacuations take place across the region, people from around Victoria have banded together to support those people who've been stranded in isolated communities for days. In Lucknow, in Victoria's East Gippsland region, trucks and utes driven by ordinary people have started shipping in food, clothing and essentials to those who are in need.
We started off as a Facebook post. Presently it's over $4,000 in funds waiting to clear. We've spent $2,000 yesterday on all the gear via communication with Wendy, and we just had to get here. All we want to do is focus on getting here and helping them. We don't want fees tied up in red tape. We don't want government involved. We just want to get it done. But this is the first of many. With the money we've raised, we plan on helping the farmers restore their fences, doing what we can. Like I've got excavators available to me. People have called up and go, I've got tippers, excavators, I've got trucks, I've got all this sort of machinery, Why
are you getting emotional?
Well, how can I not? Have a look at the response.
Started collecting on Monday, and this is what we got now.
And has it come from people all along the peninsula?
People all over the Morning Peninsula. The government's not doing much about it. We may as well help out where we can.
What have you brought for people here?
Water, food, clothes, toys, shoes, thongs, chairs, sleeping bags.
Just how much do you have? It looks like
2 trailer loads. So there's about maybe 400 litres of water, 40 sleeping bags, 40 chairs. It's a lot of stuff.